Welcome. Today we're here to talk about character education and why it's so important for all of us to live by universal moral truths such as honesty, fairness, respect. And I'm especially concerned about corporate ethics these days, because if we live in a global economy, as they tell us, then we also live in a global community. And we cannot just put money above human rights. And today we're focusing on the country of Burma and the companies that are still doing business there. President Clinton signed a bill in September banning any new business if the Nobel Peace Prize winner Aung San Suu Kyi was repressed more, or any of her people were put in prison, and those conditions have been met, and yet, unfortunately, our government is being lukewarm to putting the sanctions into action. So I'm here today to sort of raise the flag of ethics and to talk about how we must care about one another. We cannot keep giving a lot of money to people who are very mean, cruel, and who really have no value for human life unless it's their own. So we will start with a little journey here, and I hope that you'll stay with me the whole time, because I do feel like this is one of the most important issues that's facing our country today. We're getting ready to turn to the new millennium, and we have to change the way things are going. We cannot keep letting the crime escalate, the drugs take over people's lives. We cannot just keep allowing this to happen. Our children won't have a world to grow up in. My husband and I were robbed at gunpoint 4 years ago, and I can tell you that that experience changed my life forever, and it actually sort of got me into thinking about character education. And I feel that we must do it with the children, but I think we really have to face it and deal with adults, and especially on a corporate level. There are only 3 companies left doing business in Burma. Pepsi pulled out January 28th, thank goodness, and the 3 companies are Unocal, Arco, and Texaco. And there is a lot of money to be made with their natural resources there. And we have to decide, is human life more important, or is oil and money? So there was a study done by Columbia University and Korn Ferry, and executives that were polled in 1989 said that the number one most important characteristic for a CEO in the year 2000 was personal ethics. Now, I know I've talked pretty extensively with Arco, and their general counsel believes that ethics and oil companies doing business have nothing in common. This is not an ethical issue; it's a legal issue, and as long as the sanctions are not in place, then they're going to keep doing business with the Burmese. Let me just give you a little background about Burma. A military government took over about 8 years ago, and they renamed the country to Myanmar. And it is, I still call it Burma. I think most people that love democracy call it Burma. But they changed the name to Myanmar, and they put the Nobel Peace Prize winner, Suu Kyi, under house arrest. And she had actually won the election, the National League Democratic election. It was kind of funny that this government, they have another name called SLORC, which is the State Law and Order Council, Restoration Council. And they actually held an election to try to get more foreign investors, and then to their surprise, they lost by 81%. And Suu Kyi won as president, and they immediately put her under house arrest. So that's not real cool. She only got to see her children once in 2.5 years, and then thereafter very infrequently. She was educated in Oxford, and her husband's English, and he's been not been able to see her very much at all. But she feels so strongly about standing with her people that she's willing to risk her life. And in fact, I think she's one of the bravest women I've ever heard about. And the fact that she's living today makes it even more impressive, because I know the fears I felt by speaking out about this issue. And she actually walked towards, like the Tiananmen Square thing, she walked towards a whole bunch of guys with guns, and they didn't fire on her because her father, who was assassinated in 1948, he was like the George Washington of that country, because when the British left, he transitioned the country into into more of a democratic society. Anyway, Suu Kyi is an amazing woman, and she says that we need to have compassion, not hate. And she worked at the United Nations when Martin Luther King was giving his I Have a Dream speech, and he said that violence is a symptom of the root problem of hate. And we can't hate people.